So we're moving into Module 2, and if you'll turn to page 13, there's kind of an explanation of what all that's about. But essentially, Module 2 covers mission statements. It's an introduction to the Drucker questions, which we'll get into later. And you can see the Drucker questions are actually going to be right there. Over on that board, it's the third sheet of paper. So it covers those, and it also covers community assessment, as well as mission change and mission drift. So I guess starting off, can I have, Kim, could you read the first two bullet points on page 13?
Under learning objectives?
Yes, please.
Participants are introduced to Peter Drucker's management framework as a support for ROMA principles and practices. And participants will be able to understand the purpose of a mission statement and identify its elements.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kim. All right, so Peter Drucker, we said the name before, Kim just mentioned it. Who is this guy? That was my first question, actually, when I was introduced to the materials. So Peter Drucker, and I kid you not, this was kind of his title, his unofficial nickname was the man who invented management. Peter Drucker first got his start in 1901 doing work for the U.S. Army in terms of working with them on the application of systematic management principles. Essentially applying management in a way that was uniform across the board and that could be reproduced. So we got to start working with the military. In 1912 he moved on to the Mayo Clinic, which is a big nonprofit then, and of course you guys are so familiar with the Mayo Clinic now. So Drucker really used the nonprofit sector as kind of an incubator for his management practices. It wasn't until about the 1930s that he really started to move into the private sector with businesses applying those same principles. So as we can see, our 5 Drucker questions are, what is our mission, which is the one that we're really going to focus on in this module. Who is our customer? What does the customer value? What are our results? And what is our plan? So those are going to be our 5 biggies here. Let's see. So could I actually have someone read the shaded section on page 14? So this is going to be a shaded paragraph, and actually I will pick on you, Sid, to read that shaded section on page 14. And it's right under the first Drucker question, which is, what is our mission?
The agency mission is a concise description of the agency's purpose. It is the foundation system upon which the agency builds. It says why the agency is in business.
Perfect, thank you. So the really important word that I always take away from that one is foundation. And when we start working on the logic model, which we'll be filling out throughout the day, we'll see that our mission statement is down here. And that's not because it's not important, that's because it's very important. It essentially serves as the foundation for everything we're going to talk about today and everything we're doing as an agency. So it's actually super duper important. If you don't know your mission, you can't possibly know what outcomes you're seeking, what results you're seeking, and things of that nature as well. So, Angela, could I have you read the bullet points on page 14?
Yes, sir. Okay. When a population is the population to be served identified? Does the mission identify low income or another designation? Is there a geographical target for the population? All of them?
Oh no, you got it.
Oh, okay.
All right. So the important thing there is we're really going to get into those elements later when we go into the elements of a mission statement, the 4 necessary elements. So those bullet points kind of introduce into us. And those are going to be relationships, population, services, and outcomes. And we'll get into that when we have a fun activity where we actually diagram mission statements. So an important thing that really differentiates the nonprofit sector from the for-profit or the business sector is that our measure of success is not in profit, it's nonprofit. Our measure of success really is in lives changed. So you can almost think of it in a way that clients, in a sense, are kind of like our raw material, because they come in and then we help them to achieve self-sufficiency through a variety of services. So that's how we measure our success as a nonprofit agency. And we'll get into why that can be fairly difficult. There's a lot of subtleties involved as opposed to just measuring profit. But just something to have in mind there. So if we go into our mission statement, the mission statement is basically answering Two questions. Why are we in business? And what results are we trying to achieve? So if we look at our national goals, we kind of already have a foundation here for what we are trying to achieve as an agency. Low-income people become more self-sufficient. The conditions in which low-income people live are improved. Low-income people own a stake in their community. Partnerships among supporters and providers of services to low-income people are achieved. Agencies increase their capacity to achieve results. And finally, low-income people, especially vulnerable populations, achieve their potential by strengthening family and other support systems. So this already kind of establishes our guidelines for what we're trying to achieve, and it kind of helps to answer those questions concerning outcomes in population services, certainly. So if we will turn to page 15, we're going to go over the 4 elements of the mission statement, which Angela has kind of touched on for us. So could I have, Nancy, could you read the top shaded paragraph?
Think of the mission statement as a soundbite. Can the organization's mission be communicated clearly and concisely in a matter of seconds? Can the organization's mission be understood by the general public or your neighbor?
Right, thank you so much. So ours, and honestly, it's pretty long, and so we're kind of working on it, but it does contain all 4 of the elements. We're just working on, kind of streamlining it a little bit to be longer, at least CAAs, I should say. And so basically, as Nancy kind of touched on and Angela touched on, the 4 basic elements of the mission statement are going to be your population, your services, your outcome, and finally your partnerships. And then an effective mission statement, as Nancy just indicated, should be a mission statement that could fit on a t-shirt in the back of a business card. And again, we're working on that in terms of our mission statement. So, what I've done here is diagrammed a mission statement for you. Sorry, these are things that we're going to go over this afternoon. I actually did this part last because it had the most writing and the most color coding because I'm obsessive like that. So, this is the mission statement. Actually, it's going to be on the handout that I'm giving you guys later for the activity. But this is one of the more complete mission statements on that. And so it is to eliminate the causes of poverty in partnership with other human service providers by strengthening low-income individuals, families, and communities through self-sufficiency initiatives in XX County. So basically any county. We could say Doña Ana, we could say Hidalgo, any county works. So again, we can see here, this is our outcome, to eliminate the causes of poverty. This is the basic upshot of what we are trying to achieve, so I did it in blue here. In partnership with other human service providers. So for those purposes, we can really think of working with other nonprofit agencies or even other government agencies. So for instance, in our case, we could think of our partnerships with Children's Reading Foundation, for instance, or any of the other agencies that we partner with. And this one's really important. Relationships is super important because this is the one that you will find the one of the 4 elements that is most often missing from mission statements. By strengthening, really this kind of is more of a modifier, so I just did it in black because it's not like an important key element. Low-income individuals and families and communities. So this right here, of course, is our population. Through self-sufficiency initiatives, these are our services that we're providing. For the purpose of the mission statement, we don't have to be too specific about what said services are, but we know that they are self-sufficiency initiatives. In XX County, again, that's a modifier for a population because it's specifying geographically where our population resides. Okay, so we're going to do a quick exercise basically. Let's see. Just to kind of drive home that point. And let's see. I think we're good. One more. Okay, so for the purposes of exercise, can I have, let's see, Angela and Cesar's group, and then Nancy, Cecilia, and Kim. Could you guys be a group? So on the handout, we're not going to go through all of these, but Cesar and Angela, could I have you guys work on number 6? So it's going to be on that second page. And then Nancy, Cecilia, and Kim, could I have you guys work on number 9? Now, I will warn you, not all 4 elements are present in every mission statement. So if you feel like maybe the population's missing, maybe the service is missing, that's okay, because that's how it's supposed to be, to kind of demonstrate that not all mission statements are created equal and not all of them contain all 4 elements. So trust your gut.
So are we making a mission statement?
No, you're just
Just
looking at those,
finding-
just finding the elements. So you're looking for population,
Oh, in
outcome,
this. I
relationship,
gotcha.
and service.
Okay.
So it's to be the single voice of the community action network?
Population is the White County.
The agency itself
Yeah, population.
would be the agency
Outcome is the chief safe outcome.
for action network,
Other agencies, public relationship.
Wait, I'm confused. I'm not exactly sure what we're supposed to do with this.
Sure. Let's see. So what was your question?
So, to work with the agency's jurisdiction and the people of
So
Loretta
the
County,
outcome
would
to
be
plan national
be a
security.
single voice.
So what do we do with this though?
So you're looking for those 4 elements we just talked about. So you're looking for your population, you're looking for your outcome, you're looking for relationship, and you're looking for service. Now, I will warn you about yours. You do have stuff missing here.
But I don't know, what do you mean,
Would it also
what do you mean,
to be-
what for the population?
So basically, your population, for instance, see how it specifies people of YY County?
Yeah.
That's your population.
For both of them?
That's who you're serving.
Oh, okay.
And then your outcome would be basically your upshot. So what's the ultimate goal for the people of YY County? Your relationship would be who are you working with to achieve that outcome? And then finally your service would be what service or what programs do you have in place to help the people of YY County?
Oh, so we just make something up?
No, it's all here. Well, not all
In
of
that
it's here,
statement.
but it's all in the statement. Everything that you're trying to
okay.
locate is already here.
Like-
You just have to pull from that
Exactly.
statement.
Oh.
Exactly. It's like diagramming a sentence.
Oh, okay.
Can we have another number?
No, yours is a really important one. I'll tell you why when we go over it. Yours is super important.
Yes, community, right? I mean population.
Nancy wants to do it.
Outcome. Emphasis. Relationship is other agencies. And service is managed social. Right.
Just check it out.
I don't share, so
Yeah.
might as well chug it.
Where you think, or just,
Yeah, like for a week, just
it's been
allergies,
around.
chest cold, sinus, general ick.
That might be population.
My buddy since Sunday.
Agencies, jurisdictions, and people of Lakeside County.
I'm
Might still be
blessed, I'm not
population.
gonna lie.
Relationship.
Very blessed.
They say you should move every 5 years.
Oh, that makes sense.
That way you don't get allergies.
Or eat lots of hay when you were a kid. That which is what I did, you know? My mom's plants, the
Wow.
flowers. So,
Yeah, you build up the immunity.
yeah, I sure did. Without knowing, you know?
This part here might be
I know when my husband
relationships
was in the military, we moved every 3 years.
This is who
I never
we're
had
working
allergies
with,
until I moved back
and
here.
population is not.
Until about, probably about 4 years after we moved back here, and then I started getting allergies.
I never had allergies.
No.
Only my teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they didn't teach me.
Yeah? Happy community?